Hello, everyone. Gary, good to see you. Man, he's a really good football player. From a corner perspective, uh, technique, I think also his ability, his understanding of who he is as a corner. Um, you see he plays to his own strengths. I think they also have a lot of trust in him. And, man, he's a good football player. This is the first time I really had an opportunity to really look at him. And, yeah, he's a real good football player. He's going to be a great challenge.
With his proficient as the run game has been lately, is that something you see specifically on film, or is it when you're actually running around?
How efficient our run game has been.
And how it's helping the
Oh,
pass?
Oh yeah, no, I think that's something. I mean, we feel that just in terms of in playing and play out, being able to stay ahead of the sticks, and that's a huge deal. Again, we were in where we're 2nd and 8 last week, and we get an opportunity to you run the ball, and you end up in a 3rd and 2. That's a big deal. That alleviates a lot of pressure offensively when you can do that. When defenses have to know and plan for, hey, these G-bot downs aren't always drop back passes and things like that. It opens up the playbook for Sean, and that's a thing that we need to pride ourselves in and do a good job making sure that maintains going forward. Mm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you were happy that the team won.
Mm-hmm.
When you kind of review your performance
Mm-hmm.
and the stat sheet,
Mm-hmm.
what was your kind of reaction?
Yeah, you're obviously frustrated. I mean, you want to be able to contribute in the pass game, and that goes without saying. I don't think anyone needs to say that they want to be able to have opportunities to touch the ball. But at the same time, the way that game played out, that's not what I was asked to do, and I'm going to execute whatever they're asking me, and that's been our thing here for years. Whatever it's going to take to win, that's what we got to do, and we got the right guys in the building that understand that, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We're going to do it. We know in the receiver room that if we come in and they ask us, like, hey, we're going 12 personnel and we're running the ball every time this week. It's like, hey, let's go. Let's figure out how we're going to make that happen, how to make it come to life. And the way that game played out, that's what I was asked to do.
What's it like to have Tyler Higbee?
Yeah, it's great. I'm pumped to have him out there. It's just you've heard. I mean, you guys anyone what it's like with Higgs, and I'm sure every single person says the energy he has, the infectious energy he brings to our huddle, to our offense. Just have so much respect for him and what he's done over the course of his career. I mean, he's been asked to shoulder so much in this offense, playing games, where he's playing more snaps as a tight end, having to do more stuff in the pass game, in the run game, than I think any tight end in the league. Most complete guy, in my opinion. He's not going to get, obviously, the stats and notoriety for it, but in terms of having a whole ability to play every part of an offense and do it all, Higbee is one of the best.
Everything that went into having an injury like that, what stood out the most about the way you attacked that process?
Yeah, I mean, I remember coming off the field after that Detroit game last year, and obviously it was weighing on him, the heaviness of knowing what the path was ahead of him. And I thought that he handled it incredibly well. It's inspiring watching someone that has to go through the things. I mean, he at one point I think had, I don't even want HIPAA violations, I'm sure were coming for me, but he had a certain number of surgeries that he needed to have, going into the off season, and like that's a daunting thing. We're talking about staggering those things and to get through them, but he he took every step of that and just attacked it. It's about something about being able to take those things a day at a time and be where his feet are and just be able to find joy in that present moment was a really cool thing to see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I can't imagine what it was like for him. After at the Detroit game, we had guys that woke up from, basically a, 5-hour nap, and we hadn't moved. So it was like I remember Yarves actually was freaking out because at one point the door was open in the front, and he walked up to the front of the plane, and he thought the door had fallen off in front of the airplane. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what that was like for Higgs sitting there and be like, I just need to get home, not fun.
Over time, as receivers have come into this building, how do you, I won't say explain, but how do you, with the knowledge that you have in the offensive workshop with sending receivers such as Puka, for example, how everything can look the same and be inverted or wrinkled just in all kinds of different ways?
Yeah.
Because you're going back-to-back screens, your responsibilities totally shifted. For basically the same
Yeah,
play.
yeah. I think kudos to the front office, to Sean, and the guys for bringing certain people here that think about that stuff. And I think one of the things I said about Puka right off the bat was, he understands football and he's asking the right questions, and that goes a long way. When there's an initial understanding and desire to want to know what we're doing and the intent behind things, that makes it all much easier. Because we've had guys in the building before, and it's been like, hey, there's not an intent, and it's kind of, hey, you're doing this, and it's like, okay, he'll do that, but not understanding the intent behind it. But when you can play things off of each other, obviously I think it makes you that much better, and I think it does. It's not so much me as it is just the guys that we bring into this room.
Now, just going through those surgeries, do you have a connection with him because you've gone through surgeries? And I don't want to assume, but
Yeah.
I would assume that when you go through that, you're wondering, will it be the same? Can I get it as strong? And what you went through with that,
Yeah.
relay that with him?
Yeah, so we had some opportunities to we're close. My wife is good friends with his, and we had some opportunities just to spend some time together in the off season as they're going through that stuff. And I think there is an element of the questioning, and we talk about it in the training all the time. It's mind, body, spirit, and there's a part of that is rehabilitating your mind to understand like you're still that guy. You can still do these things. And that's part of the process. And I think a healthy part of that is questioning and asking those questions of yourself, and then being able to do the things out there that answer them, and be able to go out and go through your rehab and say, hey, no, like, can I do this still? And then say, well, I'm going to see if I can right now. I'm going to push myself to the limit right now to see if I can do it. And asking yourself those questions, challenging yourself in that way, I think it's a healthy part of that rehab process. Yeah, I think he's done a great job. The amount of time that he has spent, I think stepping back from some of the stuff offensively where, I don't even want to use the word, but for sake of efficiency, micromanaging things within the offense, that's aggressive. I'm not saying he's a micromanager, but instead of being involved in every part of the offense, stepping back from that, allowing the coaches to coach, but freeing himself up to be able to connect with people, to be able to be face-to-face with guys on the team, offensively and defensively, and then the energy he has out here, being able to be all-encompassing as a coach, coaching guys on the defense, coaching guys on the offense. I think that's been a huge thing for us, and his ability, just the energy that he has when he's coaching, which is what he loves. What he loves to do is coach, and when he's able to do that, I think that's when he's at his best. Mm-hmm.
What is the challenge of being that full, knowing that the season is still ending and the losses and all that,
Yeah.
but being able to stay in the right mindset that you can kind of make a comeback?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what we've been saying, all the way through this thing. It's like, hey, what are you guys going to do? What do you do to turn the ship around? How do you handle all the ebbs and flows of what the season has been? And over again, I've told you guys, it's about being about our process, our daily process. And as soon as you start looking outward towards like what could happen in the future, as soon as you start looking back at what happened, it's like you're wasting your time. Like, be here right now. Today, our job was to come in here and get a great third down plan in, go out there, be able to execute it, watch the film, correct it, tomorrow's going to be red zone, correcting. You know what I mean? It's like, just be where your feet are. Understand that this is a very long season. There's all these lofty goals and things you want to do, but you can't do anything except for what's right now. And I think we've done a really good job of that, regardless of what the record's been. I try not to even think about the record because it doesn't matter. I can't control that. I can just be here right now and do my best for today. And I think that's been the attitude that everyone's taken, all these guys have taken into this year, and why we've been able to weather some of the storms and things that you start to feel like there's momentum one way or another. It's like, no. It's Thursday, and we're handling our third down plan. So I think that's kind of helped us weather those things. Oh, yeah, he doesn't know where we are. He can't tell you. I mean, geographically, he doesn't know where we are. He's a whole mess, but it's all right. We still love him. You know, as long as he knows how to get here, we're good. Thanks, Sauce.
Everything okay?
What was that?
Everything okay?
Oh, yeah, everything's good. I thought we ended in a good handshake. Man, a big body. I think some of the modern DBs across the NFL, you guys look at Patrick Surtain, some of the Jalen Ramsey, some of these guys that, man, the bigger body build. So, and somebody who, man, I think of, man, I got a chance to see him just a little bit, and even if it was just 7-on-7 in the Pro Bowl. But man, you see somebody, you get to gauge how they move, and man, see the size and length that he has. But we're excited for the challenge that everybody in our receiver room is.
You're such a physical player. I'm curious when you saw the video of K-Dot's, I guess he's now a bouncer.
Yeah.
What was your reaction?
Man, I just think that the bouncer fits perfectly for who we visualize K-Dot to be, and that's just somebody he's doing that feels like a normal Thursday for us. That's padded practice for us, and K-Dot going to do his thing and just moving people out of the way, and it brings a little extra bounce in your step because they know the next time, whether it's you blocking them or K-Dot again, there's a little hesitancy when they see him rolling out there.
It's going to be cold in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts? I mean, do you like playing in cold weather? Or is it tougher? Or how do you?
I think it reminds me just a little bit of old school football. Feels like Pee Wee, but then I enjoy the heated benches when we go out there. You wear the different undercoat and stuff like that. But we've been out there before. I know it wasn't too cold when we went to go play the Patriots out there, but it's exciting. You go on the East Coast, you travel, you prepare for these things, and you still know it's a football game. Everybody's got to play in the same weather you are.
You talked about growing up a Packers fan. Is it kind of cool just as a fan of the game to see Matthew Stafford and Rodgers matchup?
A little bit, yeah. I guess that's something that we haven't talked about, but I realized that we're watching on the film, and it's weird because, I mean, yeah, I didn't realize it then, but I was watching Aaron Rodgers, and they're both in different uniforms now. So to see it happening before my eyes, I'm like, oh, I never imagined it playing out like this. But I'm excited to be able to see him play live, I guess, for the first time in my life. But then also I feel very confident in our guy number 9, and being able to be around him is a true blessing. So we're excited.
Sean talked to you guys all 139 days here in 6 games. What stood out to you about that?
I guess I feel like it really resonated with me and one day at a time. That's been the mentality that I try to take and be like, man, today was, I think, man, I don't want to put out the number because I know I'm going to mess it up. But man, you come out, and all I can do is practice as hard as I can for today's Thursday practice. However many reps we had out there, just trying to be as focused and in that moment as I can be because they're slowly winding down. Nothing is truly guaranteed. So take every rep as much as it means. And, just trying to be one day at a time. 100%, man. Just thinking like the flow, especially since all this stuff about the NFC West or whatever division we're in has been coming out. It's all the media influx that we've had since we're playing well and just being try to stay focused. And the job's not done. Like we're not where we want to be, and we want to make sure that that clock is winding down for how many days, but we want to extend days too. So it's a fine balance.
You said enthusiastically before how much you love blocking for especially duo plays. Why? I mean, can you take us through like a molecular level of like why you love that specifically so much?
I guess that's how football. I mean, before there was ever a pass play, everybody was running. You lined up. You had 3 guys in the backfield, and you were trying to confuse the defense to figure out who had the ball. And it's just I feel like the big brother mentality. As being the little brother in my family, but the ability to say as the running back, like the O-line, they look at that as the running back and the quarterback as guys they got to protect, and I feel like that as wide receivers, we're an extension of that. So trying to make sure I can go out there and protect him, and when he scores, when he walks into the end zone, it's just as exciting as when you score a one-handed grab or you have a game-winner walk-off, because it took everybody. It wasn't me. I may have sacrificed my body to go and hit a linebacker or to go clean up on the safety, but it wasn't just my sacrifice that got him in the end zone. So it really requires all effort.
In the last game, Cooper did not have a catch. Did that surprise I don't even know if you look at the stat sheet, but as you reviewed the game, did that surprise you, and kind of what's your reaction in terms of how he's handled it?
Yeah, it definitely did surprise me. But I mean, the leader of our room and the professional that I've been able to watch and study in Cooper Kupp is it didn't change how he comes out here to work. It didn't change how he celebrated with us that we were winning on Thursday Night Football, and it just doesn't change who he has been. So it makes everything flow over here perfectly, because we know he's still going to come out here on Thursday and every day before we had practice today, and giving that same effort to be our leader.
From what you were able to see with Higbee's rehab process and being able to attack that, just what stood out or resonated the most to you about the mindset and how he handled that?
I think his eagerness to go out there and to train and to stress his body to see where he could push his limits to, and in some ways, like coming back from injury, that's kind of the hesitancy. Is like, man, where can I get to? What's going to be the preventative factors to get me back to where I was? And somebody who is scratching and clawing and trying to break that barrier down every day, and how contagious that can feel. And then, man, you see somebody and be like, man, I want to cheer for that guy too, and be able to pick somebody up who who's been fighting that battle for a long time. But yeah, just consistently trying to break that barrier down.
Going into the pod, Sean talked about trying to still find the right way to communicate with this team.
Mhm.
He said they're changing it, spend less time in the box, more time in the meeting rooms, talking to players from the facility. What impact do you see from that change to the aspects?
I think it definitely may feel different in coaches' eyes, but I think like the ability to communicate more in the locker room, of feeling like, man, coach, whether you see coach having the conversation or he's having that conversation with you or the staff members, but I think there's been a buzz and urgency in the locker room of guys feeling like, man, this is the opportunity to play meaningful football in December, and how much that is required from everybody, and from top down it comes down. It's just been exciting. I feel like there's a buzz when you walk around. Everybody's got a big smile, whether it's the holidays or not. I'm sure everybody's been eating good, but where everybody's having a great time playing football right now.
Everything that Aston Scott has accomplished in his career today, and Coach LaFleur talked about, he's even more impressed by what he does Monday through Saturday. When you think about what he does Monday through Saturday for you, Puka, what impresses you, jumps out?
Man, I think he makes. I feel like I say this all the time, but he makes my job super easy, man. I feel like I may have got out of my break not the cleanest, but the ball stood up on my face mask in the one spot it can get, and you see some of the throws, whether it's not even to me or they make to Kupp and be like, holy cow, Kupp set the defender, made his indicator clear, and then the ball is as perfect as could be. The DB's trying to run through his hands, and it's just on the outside shoulder, and you feel like you take some of those things for granted, because it happens on a Monday when we're just in jerseys, and then it happens again on Wednesday when we're in jerseys, and then Thursday comes out where there's the physicality of it, and you're like, oh, we're playing a little bit more real football, and you're like, wow, the pass was still just as good as it was on Monday and Wednesday, and it makes it super exciting. It's a challenge to yourself as well to be like, man, he's putting everything on the line to go out there and compete and make everything feel like it is going to feel on Sunday, so you try to do the same.
We know how hard you played last year and how much you worked to try to stay available. And sometimes we go in the locker room, we just see you kind of sitting at your locker, almost like processing what was happening to your body. You worked really hard on that this off season and into the preseason as well. And I wonder, I guess, how are you feeling now comparative to your first season in the NFL? And are there notable differences that you can specify?
Yes, there's definitely a lot of differences, I feel like, in being able to just be a little bit more aware of the moment and recognize that, man, I've been listening to a lot of Bob Marley, and one of the songs he says, "Man, when it rains, it doesn't rain on one man's house." And that's, I feel like it's as much as I might be having a bad day, there are other people who are straining and suffering too to fight through the day and in all their different ways too. So I can put a smile on my face and go pick somebody up, and because it'll make me feel better too. It's an energy pickup for me, and I'm just blessed to be around these guys, the new environment, the new energy of the rookies. I think of Jay Witt, the Texas Longhorn that we have in our locker room, and the excitement that he's been able to bring to our room. Yeah, I just say I feel like the old guy, but I'm still young.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.